Hey folks, it's your boy Iceberg, and I'm here with a phenomenal guest. But before we start, I'd like to say thank you for all the supporters. This marks my 100th video on my channel, not my 100th episode, but my 100th video on this channel. And since day one, you guys been great supporters, and so I wanted to thank you all. You have been a great deal to me and my inspiration for Lego, and I appreciate that. So with that said, I'm happy to bring to you a phenomenal guest, one of the pillars in the AFOL community, and she also is a local celebrity. I wouldn't even say local; I would say a cable television celebrity. She's been on a couple shows, and we'll talk about that.
Right.
And so no further ado. Here's In Talk. How you doing, In Talk?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me on, and congratulations on 100 episodes, like you said, but 100 videos on your channel. I think your channel is a real great addition to our Lego community online.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, that means a truly great deal to me. That does. Thank you so much. So, I mean, I'm truly honored to have you in the room with me. I looked over your I had to put your PowerPoint together, and looking at the bills, looking at the detail and everything like that. You truly know your stuff.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you. I've been watching you build too, so it's a mutual admiration society here tonight.
Awesome. Did you happen to catch that picture of Bricksmith?
Yeah. Wow. He no beard. I've never seen him like that. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I think so. So tell us up and talk. What's your story? How your story begins with Lego? How'd you get started?
Well, I'm different than some people in that I didn't play much with Lego when I was little. My brother probably had a few sets. I was born way back in 1965. My brother was born in 70. So I think he got a few sets. And, I can remember him having some, but I don't remember really playing with them much. I can remember in the 80s babysitting different kids and playing with them. And I would help them sort and I would build. And I'd say I was a good babysitter. So, I was playing with the kids. I'd play then, but I really didn't have any sets of my own or play much until I was older. And kind of how I got into it is I was redoing my house. My wife and I redid our house, and we did stuff like we tore down walls, we completely redid the kitchen, we did the plumbing, we did electricity, we hung up cabinets, we did all that kind of stuff. Completely redid that house. We actually had two houses for a while, one in Chattanooga and one in Augusta. We redid our houses, and then we were done. And I didn't have anything to do. And I'm not very good at sitting still. So we went to Barnes & Noble so I could buy a jigsaw puzzle, because I thought maybe that'd be something to keep me busy, because my mom and my grandmother used to always do jigsaw puzzles. And when I was at the store, I got, I think I got the White House. I think that was the first one I got of a Lego set. Went home, I put it together, and I never, ever put that jigsaw puzzle together. I just kept buying Lego. And that was probably back in, it was either late 2012 or early 2013 that I did that. And now I'm, I can't tell you how much I've spent on Lego since then.
That's pretty cool.
But, once you start building, and then I started looking up things, and I found Bricklink, and I found Brickstar, and I found Bricks on the Dollar, and I found different people online. And around 2013, I think that's when Big B started doing the Saturday stream. And so I was watching that every Saturday, and actually we'd sold our house, and we were living in a basement of our realtor while we were building another house. And I was watching his show, Big B's show on Saturday night. And for one night, one of them invited me in from something I must have posted on Instagram or something. And, I just started meeting people that way and just got to know more people and kept building.
Okay, awesome. That's real awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, I really like our Lego community. They're very very inviting, especially like Hoosier and Big Bree Briggs and Brick Smith and all those guys. Um, they definitely took an outsider like me in as well. So yeah, I could definitely relate.
Yep, a lot of very encouraging people. I know Bricks. I think Bricks for Chris was on the night. Maybe I was on, and Clutch and Big B. I mean, it was a long. It's when all those guys used to be on in the old days when they didn't have so much else going on in their lives, I guess.
Right. Yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
That happens. So, what are your Lego aspirations? What's the next big project for you?
I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to do for Philly. I keep having different ideas, different things, and I don't usually reveal what I'm going to build until at least I know what it is, right? So I've just been trying to figure out what that's going to be. Am I going to do another building? I tend to do buildings. I tend to find something and then build it. The first time I went to Philly, I built the Eastern State Penitentiary, and
Okay.
that was something that was in Philly. And so after that, I've been looking at things in Philly to try to build, because you're local in Philly, and that gives me a way to be inspired. So I've been looking at stuff online, trying to decide, but I might do something different this year. Last year was the first time I did something for Philly, but I also did a Fabuland creation. I did this big mountain that was kind of organic around Fabuland boxes, and that people really liked it. I have a lot of people respond to it. A lot of kids didn't even know what Fabuland was. So,
Okay.
I don't know. I just haven't figured out what I'm doing right now. So I've been building sets. I'm working on the Batman or the Joker mansion right now. And I
Right. Right.
just been building sets, which every time I build one, I'm like, oh, I could try doing this or that, or it'll probably be a building. I like the buildings. I like the building behind you. That's pretty impressive.
Thank you. Thank you. That's pretty cool. Yeah, I like that. I like that Joker set, and it's a hot commodity as well. But thank you for giving step by step process on the build too, so I can actually look myself, even though I haven't gotten it yet.
Yeah, it has a lot of
Um,
good detail.
oh
Really
yeah,
cool.
yeah. They said it was worth it. So.
It's right
Um,
there, right next to me. I don't know if we can see
ah,
it there.
oh
Yeah. I
yeah.
got bricks in front of it because I'm on bag 16. There's 22 bags.
22 bags. Oh, that's not bad.
It's
That's not
not
bad at
bad.
all.
I think a kid could build this one because none of it's too hard. It's not too much in any one bag.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
It's
okay.
pretty smooth.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. So how do you describe your Lego artwork?
Um, I Sometimes I tell people I'm playing with Lego, which people make fun of me that. But I recently had somebody kind of laugh at me when I called it artwork, but then they realized I was serious because I do think we do art. Um, but most of mine isn't. My Fabuland mock was creative, and that was the first one. Like I said, I had a lot of fun with that. It was different for me, but mostly um, my art is looking at something and try to make something real
Hmm.
look the same way in Lego. So I think I'm getting better. I can see myself getting better, but it's looking at something that exists and trying to make my mock, usually a building, look just like it does in reality out of Lego, which, as we all know, is a challenge because you don't have the same pieces. The first
Hmm.
couple buildings I built, they're either stone or brick, and you don't have exactly what you need out of Lego. So it takes something to really keep looking at something and figure out how am I going to manage that
Hmm.
with my Lego pieces, or what Lego pieces exist that I can go buy to make it look like that.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. So you're an analyzer, huh? You analyze your work.
Yeah, I think so. I think that fits kind of what I do in real life. A lot of thinking about things and looking, and it just, I put a lot of thinking into it, and I really enjoy that because when I'm thinking about that, I'm not thinking about any other issues might be going on in work or home or anything. I'm just thinking about, how do you make that window look the same as it does in real life, which I think is
Ah,
really fun. I think it's really fascinating and fun.
yeah,
And
absolutely. Yeah.
I have a couple of friends who are architects, and I know that they've been surprised kind of by my hobby, but they really like what some of the times I've built stuff, they've been pretty impressed with what it looks like. Because they remember Lego from when they were a kid, and it was just, they're older than me. And they remember, you know, just 2x4 bricks, and to see some of the detail we can even get out of the bricks now, they're pretty amazed by.
Yeah, I think it definitely, the evolution has definitely come along, and it's amazing for you to say too when you say architect, because you know that's the first clue that I pick up when I looked at some of your builds. You know, it kind of, you know, borderline architect, like, but you do it freehand, right? You don't use the computer animated system.
No, that I looked into some of that, but no, I find that more troubling to try to figure out, and I'd rather build and rebuild and rebuild. Sometimes that does take several times. You get something, and then you realize something at the bottom needs rebuilt, and you have to take it all apart and do it again. I think one of the things that Lego teaches me is patience. Sometimes you drop something, you'll go, oh, and you want to just kick stuff, but you keep going. You pick it up and you figure it out and you put it back together, and it's just a lot of patience. I think it's good for me.
Yeah. It's the cool, calm, and it's the serenity.
Yeah.
Putting it together. So tell me about BrickTubers, your membership with BrickTubers. Tell me about your experience of being a member of BrickTubers.
Well, I've been a member. This is my second year. When they said they were going to start it, I was one of the people questioning, saying, what's going on with this? I didn't understand kind of what it was, but I was willing to give it a try because I knew everybody who was in the leadership council. So I was willing to give it a try. I think it's a good idea. It's a way to interact. Sometimes I've gone online and looked at the forum, but I haven't done that as much as maybe I could. But I like all the people who are in it, so I've interacted with them. I've presented under the name of TubeBlog, and I wouldn't mind presenting under the name. And I presented under the name of BrickTubers. Mm-hmm. I couldn't even tell you who is in who. I think I see them all as my friends online from around the world, which I think is, that's one of the coolest things about Lego beyond building is all the people I've gotten to meet from, everywhere. You're up the road, but there's people in Australia and England, and just, it's incredible who we get to talk to from all over.
Absolutely. So, of course, you allow others to build, to see your building process while you're building step by step. I do cherish that. So, what's unique about your building process?
I don't know. I'm a sociologist in real life, and it's a lot of times I blow students' minds in the classroom and I convince them they're not unique, which I don't mean to be mean about that, but I think we see patterns. So we see similarities that we all have. So I don't know if I'm unique. I think some of the things I do that other people do is we do look at pictures and then we try to build it. We do things over and over again. Occasionally we'll find something that one of us does is unique and we share it. When I did the penitentiary, I had to find a way to do these insets, and I took I can't think. I took some brick, did it sideways, which lots of us do different sideways, but I did these arches sideways, and that made a really neat texture. And so I'd never seen anybody do that. But other things I do is what other people do. You go and you look and you see how somebody else has done something, or you remember how you've done something in a kit, or you talk to other people, like how I'm thinking about this. You have any idea how we could do that? So it's sharing on Instagram, getting people's encouragement. Again, not necessarily unique, but then again, I'm saying that, but then you go and you show at a show, and nobody has the same exact thing. Everybody does have. We are unique in the end. Even people with cities, there's similarities. A lot of them start with the different sets, but they all end up being different. They might build theirs 5 stories, so they might build theirs, they turn a corner into another kind of corner. So you do see uniqueness, even though we're not unique. I guess another way I'm saying about cities, I don't have a city. I started with a city, and I built one of the things I've done, I haven't seen too many people do, is I did a brick road for my city. But then I took it down, and I have a block instead of a city, because
Okay.
it's just as easier for me to deal with than having the city in the middle of a room. It's nice to have just a long block. It's one of the things that I try to do is keep my area really clean, almost probably at least weekly or so. I make sure things are straightened up. I'm not certifiable or diagnosable OCD, but there's a little bit of it in me, and I think that's another thing we like about Lego, because I label all the drawers and I set things up. Actually, somebody just bought me I got a new labeler for Christmas. This is really cool.
Okay.
You can work it with your phone, so that's so cool. So I'll be labeling more things, but I like, that's a way maybe I'm different than some builders I see. I really like order, so I try to keep everything really clean and in order all the time.
Okay.
It hasn't kind of went everywhere, but there you go.
That's not a bad thing. They're not a bad thing. You find things a lot quicker with clean and order.
Yeah.
So do you build with your family, any family members, any loved ones?
I have a wife and I've got 2 kids, and they were her kids first. Sometimes people ask, and it's none of their business, but I don't mind telling them. It's just kind of funny. They're 30 and 28. I have kids as old as Clutch. I remember the first time telling Clutch I was old enough to be his mom. It's just weird. I mean, that's one of the weird things. We hang out with like OBFD, and he's 16 or something, and I talk about these people as my friends. So I've got 16-year-old friends, and I'm 52. But that's kind of the cool thing about Lego. Yeah. One of the many cool things. But yeah, we have a 30-year-old and a 28-year-old, and they didn't play. I've been in their lives for 20 years, so I've known them since they were 8 and 10. And my son writes comics. He's written a comic, and he does filming, and he's really creative, and he writes, and so does his wife, so my daughter-in-law. And so I talk to them a lot about superheroes, and so Lego has helped me be even closer to him, because I know more about superheroes because of knowing Lego, which is kind of fun. But we haven't really built. Occasionally he'll buy me something. Occasionally I'll buy him something that's Lego that fits. He likes Batman. Okay. So I'll buy him something that way. And then our daughter, she's into fashion. She lives in LA, and she works for a company making things fashion-wise. And occasionally I buy her a Friends set that has, like, Stephanie makes fashion, or Mia, whoever the fashion one is. Our daughter's, she goes by Alex, but her real name's Stephanie. So I'll send her those sets on occasion, and she'll build them, and she'll send me pictures of that she's built them. So I haven't really built with them, but they know, we talk about my Lego hobby, and they like it, and we share. And then my wife I've got her to build 2 sets. And the reason I got her to build 2 sets is because we were really lucky. This year, we were chosen to be 2 of the 140 people who got to tour the Lego company in Denmark, in Denmark.
Okay.
And we knew we were going to do that. And we went in October, and we learned way back in February we were going to go. And she kept saying, gosh, I better learn how to build, because if we have a building contest, I'm going to look like an idiot. So I got her, she's actually from England, so I got her the London set, and we went to Berlin, so I got her the Berlin set, the Skylines. And she built both of them, but she buys me sets. This house has a Lego room because she's supportive. She buys Lego. Like I said, she's very supportive. Occasionally I do what the rest of the guys do, and I'm careful about when I bring the Lego in the house. I keep it in my car, and I bring it in sections, or how we do. Sometimes we just hire stuff a little bit. I'm just like everybody else there. It's funny when the guys talk about their wives. I'm like, I do that too.
You can't drop it all at once. You got to just sneak it in.
Or you said this was such a good deal, and I'm going to sell this one at the yard sale and make a profit on it. And
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome.
But but when we went to the Lego tour, she did build. She didn't do very well, but mostly she just, I mean, she was fantastic. She went on that tour. She talked to all the designers. She's also a sociologist. She interviewed them like she was doing interviews of people like you're doing now, and asking all of them when they started building, why they do Lego, how they started designing. And it actually made it more interesting for me because I was like building and building, and she was doing these interviews. It was really fun.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's pretty cool. Hey, that's
Yeah.
something.
So really supportive. I've got a brother and a dad, and they're just really supportive. And people at work. I'm a chair of a department. I've got lots of people who work with me. I just had a big gathering at my house last Thursday, and the only thing about having people to the house is everybody wants to come up to the Lego room, and then I don't get to stay down at the party. I'm constantly giving tours in my Lego room because they find it so fascinating, which is fun and really supportive. Nobody says like, "Wow, you're a weirdo," or "What are you doing with all these kids' toys?" They really like it and ask questions. And occasionally say, "Can I take pictures to take home and show my kids?" And so it's fun.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, and that's what it's about. You know, showcasing your artwork. And that's pretty cool. Especially with the support. Having the support is very cool.
Yeah.
So you do have other hobbies that I like to talk about. Do any of those hobbies that you have, or even interests that you have, does it kind of spill over into your mock making when you decide to make a mock?
Yeah. Well, I work at a university, and so some of my mocks have been, my first mock was a university building that's on my campus. It's this big yellow square thing that was one of our buildings. That kind of, I used to go by it every morning and think about it and look at it and stop, and I took pictures of it and eventually build it. And then once I built that, and somehow somebody at the university found out I was doing Lego, and then somebody at the university asked me to do one of the buildings that they were building at our school. They were building a residence hall, and they asked me to build that. So two of my mocks have been university buildings. So maybe not my hobby so much as my work has connected. What I study crime. I mean, you and I have some things in common because of what you did for a living. So I've never quite done I don't want to build murder scenes. That just seems like that, if I built murder scenes or something gruesome, that'd be hard to take to a Lego show for kids. So I haven't quite done anything that way. Although I think about making stop motion videos to teach kids criminology theory or something, but I haven't got there. But then, I kind of told you my hobbies of we've been working on houses. We've doing our decorating, our building, our rehabbing. That kind of led me into doing Lego. And and then we still kind of make sure my Lego room stays very neat and orderly, and finding things to store it in. That's kind of tied to our decorating hobby. And then we travel a lot. We love to both my wife and I love to travel, and so we every time I travel, everywhere we go, I look to see if I can find a Lego store around or someplace to buy Lego. It's just added to our traveling. Maybe Lego's added to my traveling more than traveling's added to my Lego. But,
that's a good way to look at it.
And that's how we got to go to Denmark too. Is that's tied. Lego in Denmark. It's great. That was a fantastic trip, and that all ties together. So. Yeah,
definitely. You were now correct me if I'm wrong. I'm trying to remember. I think I was on a live stream and somebody said that you made it on to a cable television show.
Yes,
can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. It's not tied to the Lego, but I know that one time I've had people who we talked to on the internet with Lego, talk to YouTube, say that they they thought they saw me on a show, and I've been on a couple shows because I study crime. I've been on different shows about different crime. I was on Dead Files, which is it's just a funny show. I didn't realize what it was even about. I just knew I was going to talk about a particular murder here locally where I live. That happened a long time ago. And that's Dead Files is on that's on the History Channel. And then I was on this name of the show is hilarious. Southern Fried Homicide.
Okay.
And that's the one I think more people have seen me on. Southern Fried Homicide is on the ID channel. And that was based on, there was a serial killer here in Augusta, Georgia. I actually live in North Augusta, but they were in Augusta, Georgia, and actually North Augusta. And I followed the case. When they found the guy, I went through and sat through the whole trial, wrote up a little bit about what happened, but didn't get anything published, except I kind of did. I've actually written a textbook on murder, and I had some of the stuff on that case in my textbook. And the guys and gals making the show for Southern Fried Homicide found out that I'd written about it, so they interviewed me about that case. So you're hearing my voice now, and if you're ever like thinking you're watching your cable show and you hear my voice on cable, it could be that, yes, I'm not only on your YouTube, I'm on your Southern Fried Homicide. So it's just kind of funny.
That's pretty cool. So, celebrity, guys, we got a community celebrity.
Yeah, I'm sure you could talk about cases that you were involved in or know about from the past too. They'd like to talk about you. You've got a great personality. So.
Thank you. Yeah, with crime stories, you definitely can turn the table and talk for days on each story. So
yeah,
each story is definitely unique.
We'll come up with our own show, Crime and Lego or something. There we go. We'll work on it at Philly.
Yeah, that sounds like a good spin.
Yeah.
All right. So of course, this is probably a no-brainer, but would you say that building Lego is therapeutic for you?
Definitely. It's like I was talking about when you're trying to figure out how to do something like in a picture you have of a building. I don't think about anything but that. Like I said, at work, I think there are somewhere between 27 and 40 people under me. Some of them are part-timers. A lot of people I supervise, great people, but and then all these students and I'm trying to figure out different things for them, or I'm trying to figure out maybe how to teach something. And I go work on Lego and I don't think about any of that stuff, but then sometimes I'm done with the Lego and I've solved the problem. You realize you were thinking about it, but you don't realize you are, because you're just focusing on Lego. It was extremely therapeutic. And actually, when I first got into it back in 2013, I don't tell that many people about this, but obviously I'm going to tell some people about it. My mom was dying of cancer. My mom had colon cancer. She passed away in December of 2013. So just about 4 years ago, just this past weekend. And I would pay attention to my Lego videos. I'd sit with her for hours, and she'd be in the hospital and out of the hospital, and I'd hang out with her in her house. And sometimes I'd buy Lego set and build them. And she was really encouraging. And she was quite funny. She would talk to me about Lego, and I think some of the people in the hospital thought she was like dementia. And she's like, "Did you buy another Lego set?" And I think they thought I was she was going back to when I was little, but no, it was like, "Yeah, Mom, I just went to the Kroger in Columbus and bought a Lego set. I'm from Ohio, so I was up there." But then, that's when I would listen to Bricks on the Dollar and Brick Czar and stuff because she would sleep, and then I'd need something to do besides watch her regular television or whatever she had. I wanted to turn her channel. So it's been really helpful through me back then, and then through that time, and now. So Lego's been a great thing in my life.
Yes, very good, very good. Well thought out. That's a good answer. And it's all. I think we all feel the very same way as you do too. It definitely helps us through some trials and tribulations and stuff. Definitely helped ease the pain as it did for you.
Yeah.
So what was your cool project?
It was probably building the residence house for my university. They asked me on May 14th if I would build them something by June 14th. And one of the things, of course, that was hard with that is, first I was like, "Oh, this will be easy. I have a bunch of brick left over from my mock of from the Eastern Penitentiary." But then I realized, looking at pictures, that color wasn't going to be good. That was a light brown, and I needed not a dark brown, but I can't think of the color, but I needed another color. So I had to source the bricks, and sourcing the bricks was quick enough was difficult. But I go to some of my trusted sellers like Brick Stackers and Clutch and Big B, people I knew who'd get me stuff quickly that I knew wouldn't mess around.
Gotcha.
So I did that, but also finding sets I knew I had, and because I got some stuff stashed away in my attic, and I have them tallied up so I can go find them when I need them and get them down and open them up and get the bricks. But then even just building it was a challenge because all that I had was a drawing from an architect. So the building wasn't built yet, but I just had this drawing. So while they were building the building in real life, and they had a lot longer, I must say, I was trying to build it within a month from a drawing I had of it. Eventually, I went down to where the building was and tried to get a sense of it from where they were building, but of course, it wasn't done. But it did help me a little bit get an idea of it, and I climbed through a fence and was trying to take some pictures of it, and I made sure to wear my badge for work, so if I was like ready to tell the campus police, no, I'm supposed to be here taking these pictures. And
it's a crime scene. It's a crime scene.
Yeah, there we go. But I was turning it into a crime scene. I was violating the law. But that was a challenge, partly because it was just so quick. And I felt a little bit under pressure. They said, you think you could do this? If you do it, we need it big enough so we can take good photos of it, and we might want it for the cover, but they were kind of hedging their bets because they said, if it's good enough, but they didn't quite say it in those words. They said, we might be able to use it for this or that, and we probably want to do an article about a bus, so if you could put a bus on there, and we want to do an article about food so you can have food there, and all these once they wanted. So I'm like, did they realize what they're asking me? But I managed to get it done, and I thought it looked really great. I'm really proud. They loved it so much. They paid me for all the brick, and they paid me for all the minifigure. I figured out how much everything costs, plus maybe a little. But they paid me for all of it, and then they got a case built, so it's on display. I just saw it last Friday night at an alumni event. It's shown in the alumni house on campus now, and so I'd love to go see it. Everybody talks to me about it. It's just really kind of cool that it's there.
Okay, that's awesome. That is awesome. I think that is the top pinnacle. I mean, we all go to Lego shows, and some win awards, some don't. But I think when you got a community that reaches out to you for a special project like that, I think that's the pinnacle of your Lego success.
Yeah, I think it was really cool. They had no idea I'd hardly build anything, and here they're asking me, and there we go. And then I got they did an article on me, and it was just really had, again, lots of support for this hobby from everybody.
Yeah, definitely. So tell me this. Out of your Lego career, what was your most memorable interaction you had with someone regarding your Lego hobby?
Well, I've had lots. I've loved meeting everybody. Like the first time I met Brick Czar and Bricks for Chris was back at Brick, Alabama, even before I met everybody at Philly. They were both great. They're so nice. And when you first meet people that I hadn't interacted with them on YouTube. So that kind of feels like you're meeting a celebrity in kind of a weird way, but they're both great. So that was cool. It was cool meeting just everybody, meeting Brick Smith, meeting Port City Bricks, meeting a guy and a gal and their bricks, guy and a girl and their bricks, she goes by girl, meeting Bubba and Kelly, just everybody that we met at OBFD. I'm sure I met so many people, and I'm not saying everybody I met, but Agent Briquette and everybody I've met there. It's been so cool because it's like you meet them here by here I mean, in my Lego room, I'm talking to somebody online, and they seem really cool there, and then you meet them in person, and it's like these people, and that's been really cool. But I also had this experience that just is different, in that last year at Philly, I built a house called the Escherick House, Margaret Escherick House. And Margaret Escherick was this woman who had a Louis Kahn, the architect, a famous architect, build a house for her. And it was built in Philly. And Louis Kahn is, like I say, my friends who are architects just think he's the best architect and thought he was fantastic. And I didn't even tell him I was building this because I just built but I built this historic house because it was in Philadelphia. Because I was hoping it would get nominated for the Philly mock. You know, if you do a mock of a building in Philly. So it didn't even get nominated for the best Philly mock. And I was like, well, fine. They don't even know what's good in Philly.
Right.
Not to say that the one that won was good. And the other people who built Philly mocks did a great job. But I was like, oh, they didn't even notice. And I was like, oh, whatever. So, because I'm not, you know, I do it for me, but you do it, it gives me something to try for. So I was trying for that to get at least in the competition. Didn't get in the competition, but I was standing there. And I just actually went out and I walked back, and OBFD was talking to this woman, and he was saying, no, I didn't build that, she did. And OBDF said, she wants to talk to you because you built that house. And right. So I said to this woman, yeah, I built that house. And she said, that's my boss's house. And I said, you're kidding. Your boss lives in the Sherrick house? And she said, yeah, he's a lawyer in town, and he and his partner bought the house not that long ago, and they live in there. Would you be interested in showing him your building? And we just got to talking, and I said, well, he's not, you know, I was joking around. I'm like, I study crime. He's not a serial killer, is he? And she said, no, he's not a serial killer. He was an attorney, and she was an attorney. And so that was kind of funny. I said, I'm a criminologist, and she was an attorney. So we were, you know, something else we could talk about in common. And she called him and she talked to him, and he was out at dinner that night. He wasn't going to be home till like 10 o'clock, and I was leaving the next day because it was Saturday night, or it was Sunday night. I was leaving the next day to drive back home, and I had like 12 hours on the road and I had to get home. So I agreed to go over there at like 10:30 Sunday night to show him the house. And you know, I made sure I called my relatives, and I said, you know, if you don't hear from me, this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going to be. You know, make sure if you don't hear from me, you call somebody and report it to the, you know, we were trying to be careful. But then, you know, you kind of get a sense too. I've been around. I grew up in not the nicest area, and you get a sense, even in nice areas, you get a sense of who you can trust and who you can't. You still got to be careful. So I go over to these guys' house, and brought in the building, and I showed it to them, and they just thought it was incredible. They ended up buying it from me, and it's on display in that house. So I built a house, and it's on display in this house, and people go tour it. So that's really cool too.
Wow.
But it was just fun. I was talking to them, and they said, well, they've done some redecorations. And I said, what? I said things like, well, the washer and dryer machine area, you can only get to it through the outside. I'm sure you changed that. And they're like, we did. We made that our kitchen, and we changed the upstairs closet. I said, did you take the sink out? And they said, we did. And it was when we started laughing because it was creepy. I knew their house so well, and I'd never been in it. It was like I was stalking these two guys. They gave me a tour, a private tour at 11 o'clock at night of their house. It's a famous house. I sold them my building. It's the first building I put lights in, showed them how I work the lights and everything. So I've gotten two times now I've built buildings that I didn't get to disassemble because they're on display somewhere. And that's just one of the neatest experiences. My wife's always trying to come up with where can you build that someone will want to buy. That's her big thing. They want to buy your building. I'm like, I'm not doing it for that reason. I've just been kind of lucky that's happened.
Yeah. So that's you know, but you know, lightning always strike twice, and you definitely struck it. So.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's a good memory. I appreciate you sharing that, because you know that's just inspiration and motivation for us all.
Yeah, it's just so cool.
Hey, folks,
Lego opens doors for us. Lego opens doors for us.
Definitely opens doors. Like you said, I probably wouldn't know half of the people that's in this room talking, if it wasn't for the Philly Brick Show, and the AFOL community, reaching out. So it definitely makes the process easier.
Yeah.
Hey, folks, you are watching on the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. I'm dumbfounded because my guest is a phenomenal guest, and I'm excited and ecstatic to actually get into the PowerPoint slide presentation, because she does have some awesome builds. And so thanks for watching. We're going to jump right into the PowerPoint presentation right now.
All right.
And here we go. All right. So here's the your city, your long city block. And you know what? That I would never think to actually display like that, but you save a lot of space and you still get the same effect as if you had, the like a couple block layouts.
Yeah. Yeah, it worked out really well. And those cabinets there are restoration hardware cabinets, but we have a place in town where they sell uh, restoration hardware that gets damaged. So all of those were damaged. They're like $400 or $500 cabinets, and I got them each for $60. I used my grinder to grind off the broken bits at the bottom, and then I put on new I actually put a shelf on the bottom and put wheels on under them, so they're all on wheels. And then all those drawers are filled with Lego, and they're labeled.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, and then I've got all the modulars there. I only got one original at the very end there. But people come up the stairs at the end there. You see that white square. If you turn right there, you go down the stairs into our living room. People come up the stairs and think that's my Lego room, and they have no idea that that's just a display. And there's so much more Lego up here.
Yeah, I think you're definitely past the point of sneaking.
And if you, I don't know how close, if anybody's watching this on a computer, some of the people lined up there on the street, those are some of my sig figs. I have some in my Lego room, and then I have some lined up along the road there.
Yeah, I see Haley and Brickanic. Yeah, I see all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of them are there. But I have more, so.
I even see MD.
He might be in this room because I got him around, got him a couple places. Yeah, MD is there, isn't he? He's white. He's the white guy with the no hair on the top.
Yep, that's him.
He's by the Agents of Mock. He's not far from them.
Yep. All right.
This is another great moment. I got to meet somebody. That's Jamie Berard. He's the one who I think I heard something just today that he's moved to architecture, but he'd been the one that's been designing all the modular buildings that we've been getting.
Okay.
He's from the Boston area. That's taken at the Lego house in Denmark, and I was lucky enough to have dinner with him. My wife was next to me on the right. She's taking the picture, and then me, and then Jamie. I told Lorraine, my wife, you've got to get a picture of me so I can show my friends I got to eat dinner with Jamie. And he was so incredibly nice. He asked me about my builds. He talked about all kinds of stuff. Of course, he wouldn't tell me any secrets. I tried to get secrets out of him. But you can see we had a bottle of wine. We got to eat all kinds of food, build that night. I've been so fortunate to have all kinds of fun interactions because of Lego.
I see. That's good. Rubbing elbows with a little bit of celebrities.
Yeah.
You are a fan of the old school Lego here. So tell us about this.
I'd love to have that set. I do not have that set, but that's one of the sets I made sure to find when I was in the Lego vault that's not in the Lego house. I forget what it's called, but it's the employee museum. They have a museum just for the employees. Lots of people have gotten to go to it. You've seen people on different brick show programs like Beyond the Brick has been on there. But those are those shelves that open up and roll closed and roll open, and the other people, there were like 10 of us down there at one time, and we could go through and find sets, and that's when I knew I wanted to find why I was down there.
Yes, they said that's the quite place to be. That Lego vault, and I've seen it on the YouTube, on somebody's YouTube show. They went down there and had a show.
Yeah, it's so geeky, so fun. I loved it. So one of the things I do, I take my sig fig with me whenever I travel and take photos. And so then a lot of times it mixes that thing that people do with their Instagram, food and my minifig. So there are probably lots of pictures on my Instagram and on my Facebook of my minifig with food. So you've got her there, I think, with some guacamole and I don't know what else she's doing there, but just checking it out.
Ah, so this here is actually one of the first pictures you posted back in 2014. I'm sure you've been building before that, but this is actually one of the first ones you posted on Instagram. What take us back to like the mind frame, because like we always start with the best optimists. We're all always optimistic. So tell us about the ambition you had at this point.
I actually I didn't know what I was doing or what I was getting into. I just like the idea of taking the pictures of our little sig figs. I have one for me and I have one for my wife. And I have never set out goals. I've never stressed myself over doing so many YouTube videos or so many postings. I've tried to make this a really fun hobby for me and not something that's I feel stressed by. So, but I do carry my sig figs around often. If I if I carry a purse, they're in my purse. If I am carrying a backpack, they're in my backpack. And our family and friends get a big kick out of the photos that we take. So, like I said, I don't even know. I can see that's April 6th. That's quite a while ago, but I don't know really where I was. I haven't been very good at doing my hashtags of where I am or stamping these. Just kind of just starting at Instagram there, I think.
Ah, okay, gotcha. All right, and it was another first that you posted.
Yeah, that's probably the first time I went to. Let's see, that's April 2014. That's before I didn't get to go to Philly that year because I've been in Philly and I've been in Philly in 2016 and 2017. But Philly started in 2014. And I didn't get to go to Philly that year. I knew it was happening, but I couldn't quite pull it off. But I got to go to a conference there that year, just shortly before Philly. And whenever I travel, since I've been doing Lego, I make sure to see if there's any place I can buy Lego or go look at Lego when I'm traveling. And I took a bus. It actually broke down. And we got a bus. I remember that. And after two different bus rides, I managed to get to the King of Prussia Mall from downtown Philadelphia, so that I could go to the Lego store.
Ah, yeah, I've been to that mall. That mall's pretty awesome. I definitely need to go back to, especially now I'm in Lego. I definitely need to go back.
Definitely, yeah.
Are you a foodie?
It looks like so. I'm a vegetarian, though. I think Fick and Bricks. Fick is a vegetarian too, though. So there's a few of us in the Lego community, and that's actually a bean burger of some sort. So yeah, again, taking pictures of my sig fig exploring food. I used to always carry that magnifying glass with me too, because it was kind of like a crime thing. But I think I've lost that, so she doesn't carry her magnifying glass anymore. But there she is with some food.
Ah.
Makes for fun pictures.
Yeah, definitely. Food is always fun.
And that's a sculpture at the convention center in Philadelphia. And that's actually stuck to a wall, all those cups are. I think it's at a coffee shop within the convention center. And I just took out my sig fig and put her in a cup. I'm always pulling out my sig fig. I even I don't have any pictures on Instagram, but we got to go to Cuba a few years ago, and I had my sig fig out taking pictures in Cuba, but I didn't have. I used a regular camera because our cell phones didn't work in Cuba anyways, and that was a really fun place to take some pictures. I wish I would have taken some Lego with me because the kids were just mesmerized by what we were doing. First of all, these two adults were playing with these little toys, but they'd never seen the little Lego figures.
Ah, yeah. I actually remember that sculpture too. That's pretty neat how they got all those all those cups and bowls up there on that wall there like that.
Yeah. So that's some kind of haul. I don't know if I got what I was doing that day. I just post my hauls on occasion. I have built that set. I can see it right now. It's in front of me. That's one of the sets with the light bricks. I love that. That creator house. I don't know that I built that plane, but I built those other two things. Got the truck. I don't know. Yeah, I got the truck in front of me now, actually, too. So, and that's in my old house. That's the house we redid. That's a while ago.
Okay. Okay. Let's see here. So, like I said, you're a big fan of the old sets. Tell us about this one.
Yeah, they're real nostalgic. That's one I think I got off of eBay. Got a pretty. I watched. Don't try not to spend too much money. So I think I got a good deal on that one, and that's one I got. Like I said, off of eBay. I think it's called like the bike shop or the bicycle shop. I'm not sure. And I got it and I built it, and it's just there's something about these that takes me back, even though I wouldn't have played with those when I was little. I can remember seeing some of them, and I just like that they're kind of simplistic, but they're kind of cool. And I like that this one particular, the bikes and the motorcycle. My family, my mom had a motorcycle, my brother had a motorcycle, my dad and my whole family rides bicycles. So this set just has all kinds of things that make me like it.
Awesome. Awesome. Definitely nostalgic. Very, very nostalgic.
That's funny that one, when you were showing it to me, I didn't realize I have Clutch actually in the picture. So that must have been early. That's his first sig fig up there. He's standing on the upper. And then I'm standing on the lower. And I think he might be in the picture because I think I pieced together this set. I had just some sets of a couple instructions. And I think I got some of the pieces from his shop. So I went ahead and put him in that picture. It's been a while, so I don't remember everything I do or why I do it. But I think that's why he's in that picture there too, because some of those bricks were from him.
Gotcha.
But that's one of the old creator house sets, and I just think some of those are just really cool.
Yeah, definitely, and it definitely fill out your city block. Especially on the road if you choose to make a suburb. Definitely good fillers.
Yeah, and then that's from a set that was an anniversary set, and I bought that actually on eBay as well. I got a good deal on it. It didn't come with came with directions. And almost all of the pieces, but it didn't come with a box. But I really liked the look of it. It came with, it has a church, it has the cinema, and it has a gas station. I think you might even have a picture coming up with the gas station. And it was just a really cool anniversary set. I think it came out in the 80s. Some people might know better than me. But I did have to order the stickers. It didn't come with stickers, and I ordered second. Somebody else made the stickers, so they're not genuine Lego. I'd like to point that out, so I'll be honest about that. I'm usually pretty much a purist, but in that case, I got the stickers. I just think it's a really cool looking set. I used to have it on my city block, but I've moved some of them back. In fact, that picture, I don't know when I took that picture actually, but I've got those back in my room, each on my shelf with my older stuff.
Okay. I like it. Definitely like it. That's the first time I actually seen that set.
Yeah, that's part of that same set. So that's the church that's from that set. Okay. So I think it was called something like a town square or something like that. It's just a nice, cool little set. I really like that they had the 3 in there, and like I said, it's some kind of anniversary set, and I could probably, I won't, but I probably could even sell it for more than I bought it for now, because I do think it's quite a popular set.
Yeah, definitely. Now it aged like a little bit of fine wine as well.
Yeah. So there's another creative house. Like I could say, I like the architecture. I was into that. That's another one I pieced together from instructions. So I think I'm missing the door on that, but I think the doors for those, I think I got a door. Let's see if I can see that set. No, yeah, I got a door, but I got a red door, and I think it originally comes with maybe a blue door. I think the door was going to cost me $27. So instead of spending $27 on the door, I got another door that fit, but was a bit cheaper, because I'm not going to spend $27 on a Lego door for a set that I'm going to sit around.
Oh, much agreed.
Yeah, I'll spend $27 on Lego, just not on a door.
Okay.
Again, I like those Lego creator houses, especially the old ones.
Yeah.
And that's a pencil box, and that's actually sitting in my office. One of the professors in my department comes So occasionally we'll bring her daughter to school, and Annabelle just loves that set, so she always gets that set out. And it doesn't look like that right now. It has, I think the guy is like in the attic, and it's got some extra minifigures in it because she always gets it out and plays with it. So it's kind of fun to have some Lego in my office the kids play with.
Yeah, sure. Yep. Yeah, definitely, definitely. And you don't even get any weird looks while you're in the office.
No, they're really supportive.
Gotcha.
And then this is the gas station from that same set with the cinema and the church. So, or I guess it's more a town hall because Lego doesn't do churches.
No.
And it's just really like that. Like the look of that. That reminds me of a gas station that used to be the block down from the house I lived in when I was last living in Ohio. It's one of those old-fashioned kind of sets, but it also an old-fashioned gas station. It just looks like a real one. It has the car wash around the corner there, and
right.
Just like the feel of that set.
Definitely. Wow. Yeah, that's probably worth a little bit of money now. Especially they done some of those sets evolved. Like if that's the one of the first, well, not the first, but part of the, like you said, the town square, or
Yeah.
It's
got that sweet corner window.
Yeah. See, yeah.
I always tell the kids, if I die, do not just get rid of this Lego at a yard sale. You got to get a hold of somebody and get your money's worth out of it, or at least give it to somebody who's going to appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely.
And this is another set. It might have been an eBay find. It might have been occasionally I'll find stuff on Goodwill. So one of the older sets. Just really, this is really a simplistic one, but I just like the feel of them. I've got this one set up too.
Okay. You've been having some good finds on that on the old stuff.
Yeah. It's when you're hanging out watching television or whatever, I just look at that stuff. I don't sit still and do one thing. These are so the Mini Cooper on the left is the exact set one that came out, I think, in 2014. This is the first time I did a mod instead of a mock, and got the green one, built it, loved it, and my daughter has a white Mini, and she said, "Oh, I love the green one. You should do a white one for like mine." So I looked up on Bricklink and figured out that the fender pieces are one of the pieces that are hardest to get, but they have them in white, and I think they have them in red. They have them in yellow. I think it's white and yellow. So I ordered those pieces. I actually started with another set and then ordered the white pieces and put that together. And it was great. It was just so much fun. The first time I showed anything at a brick show was in Alabama, and I showed my yellow schoolhouse building, and then I showed these.
Okay.
And then there's my red one. I mentioned before, I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I'm a huge Buckeye fan. And so I decided to do a scarlet and gray one. So I did red and gray, and you see I even did the seats inside to be scarlet and gray. And I'd been talking to Big B about it, and I ordered a lot of the pieces from Big B, so I've got Big B posing there with the set while I was waiting. I think I might have even, can't remember, but I might have said to him, like, I'm waiting for some more pieces from him to finish there. But so I made a green one, a white one, a red one, and a yellow one. You might have a shot of the yellow one.
Here's the
red one.
One's finished.
And yeah, they don't have red fenders, so you see the black fenders are what I have on there. And I don't think they have them yet, but they definitely did have them when I built it.
Okay.
But I really like that one with the scarlet and gray interior.
Yes, definitely. The interior is very detailed. Yeah, go Buckeyes.
Yeah.
I think we're coming up on the yellow one.
Yeah, there's the yellow one, kind of like a bumblebee kind of colors, because they had the black fenders, but the yellow and the black kind of went together. I think I got better at doing the inside design and make it look kind of cool as as I went along and kept doing this. But this was a lot of fun. This is when we were living in an apartment. We were building the house we're in now, so I had less space. So I had to kind of have one contained project at a time. So I'd be working on one of these cars at a time.
Okay.
And like I said, it's the first thing that got me on these shows with Big B was talking about these and sharing these with people.
Yeah. Definitely detailed. Awesome build. That's a nice mod.
Yeah, they're really fun. And they're all still built. They're in our dining room. I don't have very much Lego off on the first floor of the house, but I've got these 4 in the cabinet in our dining room. And so far, I've been able to keep those down there. Every once in a while, my wife will say, "Oh, what are we gonna? We time to move these upstairs," but we haven't moved these upstairs yet.
Okay.
Yeah, that one turned pretty good picture of that one too.
Yeah. Definitely good. Well done.
Thanks.
And that's them at the show. What show is that?
Yeah, that was Brick Fair, Alabama. Back in, I think, 2015. I think, like I said, Bricks for Chris was there and Brick Czar. I sat right next Bricks for Chris and I sat next to each other. Got to meet his wife. Brick Czar was like on the other side, so it wasn't quite the same as Philly. I didn't know as many people. It was the first time I was showing, but Brick Czar and Bricks for Chris made it well worth my time, and we really enjoyed ourselves. Had a lot of fun there.
All right.
And then this is the process of building my first. This is really my first mock.
Okay.
And it's a house on our campus. It's a light yellow brick building. And this is when the Friends sets were just first coming out, and they had that yellow color. So I know Big B. I told Big B he needed to get his Friends sets opened and I was buying them from him. I was buying them from Clutch. Anybody who had those yellow, I spent a lot of money on those yellow, and I was buying some of the sets myself, which isn't the best way to get brick. You're better off buying.
Right.
But the bottom, like the basement, is just brick, but then the levels, it's a modular, have it's when the women scientist set came up, so I set it up like it's not set up in my campus. That's like at the registrar's building, or was at the time, but I set it up like it would have a faculty lounge, and it'd have some scientists in it, have a sociologist in it, have a communication professor in it. It had a classroom in it, so I kind of built it like my own university building.
Oh, okay. Let's see here.
So so that's from the scientist set. So within one of the rooms, the room up to the left, actually that's downstairs on the first floor. I put like the paleontologist down there on the first floor, the anthropologist, however you want to label her. And so she's got her books in the background, and she's got a computer that she's working on, and then she's checking out the skeleton, the dinosaur she has there.
Okay. Well, way to do the detailing. I see you got the little laptop and then the bookshelf right there.
Yeah, the arch, and I did all the floors different ways too. It was really fun.
All right.
Yeah, that's at the brick show. I can tell from the background. So that's when it was on display. And one thing I did learn there is nobody knew what that was. I did have a picture of the house, but of the school building, but nobody really knew where it was. So that's one of the reasons I like to, at Philly, try to take something that the people in Philly will know what it is, because otherwise they're just like, it's a building. But
yeah.
But it's a huge building on our campus, and I still see it every day. And when people come up, I still have that mock together. When people come up to my Lego room from locally, they know they know what it is. They recognize it right away.
Very remarkable. Even the roofing and it's very remarkable.
Thanks.
Actually,
Heavy too.
I think you have a picture of it, so you were right spot on every detail down to the end. Yeah, I think I put a picture of that in here. We'll see.
This is just like what would be maybe a lounge, a teacher's lounge inside. And so I try to do the details with coffee, and maybe there's a juicer back there or something, and a fridge of some sort, or maybe a vending machine. And then those floors are those diagonal floors. I learned how to do that from Bricks for Chris. He had a tutorial video on how he did his diagonal floors using my brain is not working, but using a plate, a modified plate to help that. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, very, very nice tile work. Very, very nice.
Yeah, there's kind of from the top, and at that time, the Thick and Brick is sitting there, and I think you got Big B. I don't know who the other person is, but they're sitting at that counter in the teacher's lounge there. They're being professors that day. They're schooling us on Lego, I guess.
All right, yeah, and see, that's what it's about. Like you take a technique from somebody that's willing to share their their techniques in the community, and you help make it grow. One of the techniques that Christopher Bricks did, and he was able to share it, and and people's ideas grow.
Yeah.
So
you learn more.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even did the bathroom, and I learned that from somebody online. Some of that is mine, but some of that is somebody online. Can't remember who I used, who I looked at there. So I'm sorry. I should apologize to whoever that is. Hopefully they know who they are. But I made sure to have, and I probably used a couple different people's techniques, because I have a sink there and a toilet, and have the urinals, or as my wife calls them, urinals. She's English, so she says things differently. But the detail in there, it's kind of fun. I had a women's and a men's restroom up there, because that's what we have at the university.
Okay. It's another layout. That thing is pretty massive. I'm looking at it now. Wow.
Yeah, it's heavy, because the bottom, the tan part, is pretty heavy with bricks, and then the roof is pretty solid as well.
Okay.
I wasn't smart enough to build it so it was in pieces. The next time I built something, I built it so I could take it apart. That was just this humongous building that I had to fit in the back of my car. When I put like bubble wrap around it, so it pretty much took up all the space. I've learned to build more modular.
How many floors is that one?
It's got 3 floors of modular space in it, but in real life it has a basement, so that's why you see that tan part at the bottom. But I didn't do anything with that, except that's actually pretty much solid brick.
Okay.
And there's the actual building.
There's the actual building, yep. So definitely right on. We'll take a look again. There's the in talk version, and here's the actual building.
Yeah, the Lego version actually looks a little cleaner.
Yeah.
And I've got the drain pipe in a different place, I guess. I realize, looking at it now. The drain pipe's in the back on my building.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. You can tell what it is, at least. You can tell what you go for.
You definitely right on. Definitely right on.
And there's some shots through the window, so you can see I had the scientists working on the 2nd floor, and made sure to get an older woman professor in there too, not just the young Lego character. So get an older lady up there.
That's right. That's where the knowledge is at.
There they are again, playing with the different designs on the floor. But because it's kind of paying homage to that scientist set, that parts of it are in there. I've got all women in the lab there because of that.
Okay.
But the building has guys and gals in it, so I believe in all of us.
Very nice, clean design. Especially the design with the floors and the tiling and everything. Very nice and clean. Yeah. And not every floor is the same. I like that. I like that a lot.
So this is the residence hall that is actually for freshmen on our campus. And this is the one they asked me to build on the May 14th and finish by the June 14th. This shot, the close-up here is, I was trying to figure out, it has this kind of curved awning over the front, and I really had to play with different pieces to figure out what I was doing. Right there, it has some gray on it, but that's when I was just trying to figure it out. I actually managed to get all blue in the final product. But I had to play with that to see how I could get that curved. I think that really makes, how something just makes the building look like the building you're going for. That awning really helped with that.
Okay. Very nice technique. And it's tough because it's like, you learn by building the sets, you learn the different techniques, but at the same time, something like this, and being a new builder, you kind of, like I said, it's trial and error. So you figured it out.
Yeah. I bought a bunch of curves and had to figure out what one was going to work.
Okay.
And this
So
is
take
just,
us through the phase here.
Yeah, this is in the process, and the building's got a darker brown and then a tan. In between the windows, you can see I've got a little bit of different color in the actual building. That's like some kind of vent, I think, for air conditioning. Down here, it's a building in Georgia. We have to have a lot of air, make sure the kids can exist in the air conditioning. So, and this one, I didn't do anything with interiors. Again, I only had a month. If I were to build this building again, I'd make it more modular, and I'd work on having like stuff happening in the windows. But I was just trying to get the basic design of the building done in the time frame. And so you'll see the bricks aren't maybe as pretty as they could be. Now I try to do like have more pattern to the bricks, but then I was just trying to go for the basic colors, getting it built up, make it look like the building that I could see in the drawing. And it ends up looking like the real building that got built. I haven't taken a picture of that, but except for one little part that they didn't have in the drawing, they have this blue wing on it that they never had in the drawing, and that's kind of frustrating every time I see the building. But oh well, they like it.
You could tell your technique is, you're definitely getting stronger. Your ability to put these things together, the progression, even in this PowerPoint slide, you see that your progression is getting stronger and stronger.
Thank you. So they're just going up. So I was just taking some pictures as I processed through it, is showing as I was going where it was going. It's a pretty nice looking building. There are a lot of buildings though out there in the US that look like this. You'll see hotels that look similar to this. They do kind of these different colors like this, and this style's not unusual.
Oh yeah, definitely. A lot of dormitories are, like you say, almost look the same, that modern type style.
Yeah. It was a pretty long building. You can see it actually went over more than one of my IKEA tables as I went on along. That to the right, that end, that was the hardest. That the top of that building, the roof is slanted, and if I did that again, I would work on that. Right now, that just kind of sits on there, but it works. I probably would have done some hinge work or something to make it work. But that part is, it's just funny how they build the buildings. It was at a slant, so that took some work to get that to be slanted. You can see how that's not square with the rest of the building. In real life, they don't, they're not, they can do things that you can't do with the brick, but I worked at that.
Okay.
I'm really happy that I did get it to figure out how to slant it, but it did take some pushing of the bricks. Yeah, and there's a shot that I took. The bottom is one of the shots once the building was underway, I did go take some pictures of it. But that's it. It was in process. So you can see how I couldn't even tell how it was going to look except from the pictures. But you can kind of see from that they're similar. It doesn't have the big end in that shot I've taken, but you can see that above those windows to the left that they did put that part as blue. I think you can see that there's the part that goes over the door that's curved. So you get kind of the idea. I think mine ends up looking a little longer, a little wider, but I think that was because in the drawing it looked that way.
Right, right.
So,
Yeah, you were building from the concept, the concept. So yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And then there it is. They took it. That's the photo that they put on the front of the magazine. That's actually the magazine opened all the way.
Mm-hmm.
When I sent the magazine to a few people because they were actually on this display. One of the things I did was I ordered those. This is Augusta University, as you can tell from that. The Jaguar and the 1828 torsos are T-shirts they sell at our school, and they're our kind of motto or our logo. And I ordered those from somebody who would print me a couple of them. So I just printed 3. And technically, I was breaking
Mm-hmm.
university policy because you're not allowed to get the logo printed. You know, it's copyright. But I got a company to do it for me in England. And
Mm-hmm.
the day that they came to see the building and photograph it, they did that at my house to start with.
Uh-huh.
And I showed them these torsos, and they thought they were awesome. And they worked on photographing and stuff, but they didn't know how to photograph Lego, and they got terrible pictures. And so they ended up taking this building. We took it in 2 cars over to the photograph studio on campus, and they
Mm-hmm.
did shots of it there, and they actually ended up keeping it then. But you can see like the bird, he did do some photoshopping there because that's the bird from the bird set he put on the tree. And they took some close-ups of some of the Lego characters, including me. That's me, my sig fig with the university torso. And I made a point of asking them to, have me on the cover. And they understood what, that was me, and that's a hobby of mine. But if you can see in the left, there's Busy Blocks, and there's Bricksmith with a hat on, and TF Bricks. And I tried to get him to use more. I think somewhere else there's Fick and Bricks is back by the soccer.
Mm-hmm.
And I just tried to get him to use a lot of my sig figs, but I told him that they couldn't keep my sig figs. So I let them borrow my sig figs, and they took photographs of all my sig figs almost like in a lineup, so they'd know those are the ones they had to give back to me, but they could keep the other Lego characters that weren't my sig figs. So it's kind of fun. But then they were really cool. They printed out this on a styrofoam like thing, and then we got it framed so I could hang this picture in my Lego room. So even though I don't have the building, I can always have pretty much a life-size picture of the building.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's a good creation. Very, very, very innovative. Very, and you definitely made the mark. So,
Yeah. It was really cool how they did, because they put the clouds and stuff in the background. It just makes for a really nice shot there.
Yeah, that's definitely how you photograph Lego. They definitely got it. They definitely worked it out with the clouds and everything. Looks like you're actually on a Lego campus.
Yeah. So this is
So
this is
mm-hmm.
this is my Eastern Penitentiary. It's the first mock I took to Philly, and it was really the second mock I built, and that's the center of the mock, and the mock is longer than that. But for this, the Eastern State Penitentiary is the first penitentiary built in the United States. And I'm a criminologist, as I've said, study crime. I've been to the penitentiary, thought it'd be kind of cool to build something that had to do with my real life studies, my real life research and what I teach. And so I just started looking at pictures of the Eastern State Penitentiary online. I have a book about the Eastern State Penitentiary. I Google, you can go to Google and look at the map, and then you can look at what's going on kind of almost live. But it was like cobblestones and bricks. So it really took a lot to kind of figure out how to make that in Lego to make it look like the cobblestone. And that the small building part of it in the front, I really like how it looks. I mean, that's the different colors. And I just got a bunch of the colors, and I would just kind of grab what was ever there and build. So it's very organic, kind of like maybe a cobblestone would be, especially over time. And you can see my sig fig there in the front to see how big that actually is. That's quite big. And then earlier I was talking about one of the things I did on the side. There you can see it in that picture you just put up too. Those arches are on their side built into theirs to give it that
Oh,
texture in the window area, kind of like.
yeah.
So that was something that I worked at. Because other than that, and it is being round, and the fact that it's different colors, there's nothing really fantastic about the build in the way of technique, but it's just gigantic. I think that what really impressed, especially kids who saw this at Philly and people who knew that building. But I did build it modular style, so I could take it apart. You can see different parts I'm starting to build here. This is just pictures I took in the process of building it. And again, just trying different ways to get things built. I didn't build the whole thing because it's just, a gigantic building, a gigantic wall, and I kind of built the entryway and the front wall because there's actually be several buildings inside it if I were to build it.
Okay.
But I just want to give an idea of the penitentiary, and then you can see the inside are multicolored because I'm not going to spend a bunch of money buying tan. When I can use just whatever color to make sure that it's a solid building. So it's not anything that doesn't have play features or like cells or anything inside it. It's just meant to be more of almost like a sculpture of the building.
Okay.
So there's me and Brick Stackers. I think I'd probably just gotten an order from Brick Stackers, so I took that photo, and that was. I still have that roof part together, actually. I don't know why, but those are just some plates with different tiles on them to make the rooftop. And you can see I used hinges to hold them from not sliding down, but those are just basically laying. And then I've done the windows with the bars. Those are I didn't use any pre-built cells or anything. I just used I'm not sure what those are like lightsabers or something, some kind of
Yep. With the
antennas. They're actually antennas. That's what they are.
Yeah. Very innovative. That way you can do it the way you choose to do it. Like you said, it ain't the pre-molded stuff.
Yeah. And again, just random, some colors, mostly tan, but it's a cobblestone building, so random gray or the orange, dark orange or dark brown along there. It's not dark brown, it's dark tan. That's what it is, dark tan. I haven't built it for a while, so. Again, just more of the process. You can see there's a lot of pieces, and they all fit together. Like the modulars fit together, I have pins in the sides in a couple different places where they would hook together.
Kind of reminds me. I'm a big Assassin's Creed fan, so it kind of reminds me of some of the historic buildings that you would see playing that video game.
Okay.
Definitely like it. Definitely looks very like medieval.
Yeah. Medieval. Just so huge. I know Rick or Treats is like, don't tear it down. I wouldn't have any room in my Lego room. I did end up tearing it down because it's just too big. And some of my people at work wanted me to take it and put it along our file cabinets at work. And so that's a lot of money in brick just sitting there then,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you take it to a couple shows. You take it on a tour for maybe a year or so, or half a year, and then like just the brick season, and I guess that's it. Because like the next season come up, you got to come up with something new.
Yeah. So and there it all is built. You can see it's took up more than at least 2 tables. I think it's more than 2. If I have it, more than 2 of my key tables. I think at the show it actually took up more than one of the tables they usually use for shows. And then I did things like put the cars, and I used Lego cars that were already there, like a police car and a garbage truck. But I also hung like a grappling hook with a prisoner escaping. I had some prisoners with a guard watching them digging up in the yard, and I had him finding a skeleton. So some of those details that when people are at a show and they look at what you had, they like the building, but then some of those details that really capture the public's attention.
Uh, let's go back to that front piece, the front gate part right there, where you use those plates to, capture all the different textiles and colors. That is amazing, and I'm sure that took a lot of time.
It did, and people were wondering what I was building because I would share it. They could see that in the background on some of the shows on the Saturday. But yeah, that was just a lot. There's plates there. There's some of the profile bricks. There's some that are sloped so that it's like broken because that's like, it's an old building. Sometimes I
Hmm.
put snot technique and have some tile on the front. So just all kinds of color. It'd be really actually cool to do a whole building with that kind of look sometime. That's an idea that I could think about for the future. But that it really did turn out well. That's probably my favorite part of that building. That, and I still actually have the turret there. I tore it all down except for the turret.
Okay. Okay.
So there's me, kind of just to show you how big it is. I made sure to pose with it.
Yeah. Haley just said it was very big in person.
Yeah. Yeah, it was massive. If nothing else, it could have, I think some people liked my technique and like some stuff, but I think it got attention just because it was so big. And a lot of people, I knew a lot of people from Bricksha, but other people didn't have any idea who I was. And here I come, and I just put out this giant prison model. So, which is kind of a weird thing, but because it's Philadelphia, it made sense because it's right there.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And you won Best Philly Creation.
Best Philly Creation. That year, a lot of us people that know our friends on YouTube, we won a lot. No More Bricks, I think, won 3 himself. There just a bunch of us were running up there winning. It was and it feels so good because we were supporting each other and just really, really having fun. Even if I hadn't won, like I didn't win last year, I still had a great time, and it was just fun hanging out with everybody and showing the public what we built.
Right. Right.
So this is the Sherrick house, and this is the first floor because there's a first floor, and the second floor has a loft that looks over the first floor. So when you take it apart modular wise, it looks kind of funny because it looks like it's half built. But this is it with the second floor off of it, and you can kind of look into it.
Okay.
It's a very modern house. The architect was known for his modern features. I didn't know what kind of stuff they'd have in the house in terms of furniture, so I built furniture myself that I thought would belong there. And the funny thing, when I got there and met the guys who owned the house, they asked me why I did modern furniture. And I said, well, because the house seemed to call for modern furniture. And they said they were the first people to own the house who had ever had modern furniture. And I made 2 white couches, and they have 2 white couches. So that was just kind of really cool that I made the house like it really is, weirdly.
Yeah.
So there's, of course, my sig figures there, kind of show height and stuff. But yeah, it's just a 2-story house. It has 1 bedroom. It's quite a small house. Margaret Sherrick, who had it built, didn't want her family or relatives staying with her, I guess. So it is pretty small, but it's all wood. And so I used the brown to try to show the deep woods inside the house. And if you saw the windows, I didn't use any of the windows from Lego because they have these giant windows in the house. This is the back of the house we're looking at, actually, because it looks out onto some land and some lawn. And so this is more to be the private part of the house where they can see their garden. And then the front of the house really doesn't have as much. It's more closed off. So if people are driving by, they wouldn't see it or whatever.
Okay. So what was the inspiration into building this project? I mean, how did you discover, how did you discover it and just say, hey, look, I'm gonna go forth and build this?
Well, I really like modern architecture, so I just started Googling Philadelphia and modern architecture and seeing different things that came up. And when I saw this house, I just thought, this is a really cool house. This is a house that my wife and I, if we were going to build a house, that we could build with a modern style, we might like something like this. We in a neighborhood where we can't have a modern style, we have to have ours looks more like a cottage or something because of the neighborhood. But I really like this kind of style houses, and to see one that was in Philly and realize, I could build this, and thinking, people in Philly would know it because it's such a famous architect. And I thought people would recognize it, but they didn't. So that was kind of funny for me to learn that. I guess the one woman who knew the house and been to the house recognized it, but a lot of other people didn't know it. But.
Okay. I like that technique too. Like, a lot of a lot of builds I've seen, when they do the roof, that roofing technique that you just did, when they do the roof, they kind of leave the roof, kind of naked with the base plates.
Yeah.
Or the regular plates, where you went ahead and you tiled it, and you tiled it the way you did. I like that technique. Looks a lot cleaner.
Yeah, it's like a concrete looking roof in real life. So that's kind of went for that. So.
Okay.
Well, here, I think that's Bricksomniac in the background there. But this is the Fabuland mock. So I finished that other house, and as I was finishing the Escherick house, I was playing around with the idea of doing some Fabuland. I was just going to build some old Fabuland sets maybe, but then I started getting some of the Fabuland pieces, the little characters, because I just think they're kind of creepy, but they're kind of appealing. The little characters with the faces.
Yeah.
It's the butt. And I got Brickstar probably turned me on to those, just watching his videos. And so I was getting those, and then I got some of those boxes that are the houses for them. And I was thinking, what can I do with those? I could build a town, but everybody kind of does a town. Maybe I could do something a little different. And actually, I was thinking about the favelas in Brazil, which isn't usually, favelas aren't the nicest places to live. A lot of times, a lot of poor people live in the favelas, but a lot of times they'll be brightly colored and they're kind of interesting to look at. And I was kind of thinking of those, and decided to use these boxes to kind of build like a favela, but I wanted it to be nicer, maybe like a vacation area. So I started stacking those houses and building mountain around it. And it just kind of evolved as I built. So I already had a lot of the gray, because at one other time I was going to build a mountain and I didn't. So I got out all my slopes and I started building mountain and adding those houses and trying to build so they, kind of have steps up to different parts of it, and kind of imagined all these creepy little animals living in this mountain town.
Okay.
And there's like a carnival piece, and then so I have kind of like two, like it's maybe a mountain top or two mountain tops kind of next to each other. So it was just kind of fun. And actually, I didn't win. The baseball stadium beat me, which I like the baseball stadium, so I can see why it won. But I did get nominated for this one, and that was it was good for me, because this was just me. I didn't look at anything. I had the idea of favela, but this was just me creating organically, just really playing with Lego and pushing myself in a new way. I wasn't, looking at something and then building. I was just building.
Right.
And it paid off. It's kind of a neat looking thing.
Yeah, it's definitely unique. So.
Yeah. This is just, I don't know where they got it, but my son and his wife got me this. Talk and my name, and Talk, actually is our names. I won't tell you the last names, but our last names, my kids have a different last name than me and my wife. But our three last names are END, our initials. And then our first names are Tristan, Alex, Lorraine, and Kim. And that's Talk. And that's how I got, when we first got internet and I got my account, we made our email NTalk, because that's our names. And then that's just what I didn't think about it the first time I started going on and doing Lego stuff. And I just used the initials NTalk. The kids don't like the end as well. And my wife doesn't like end, because she's thinking I'm telling people to be quiet. But it's funny because I answer to that like it's my name. My name is Kim, but I answer to N Talk as well. So it's just kind of funny. But the kids got me that with the talk on it, and so I've got that set up in my Lego room. So it's kind of cool.
Awesome.
Another old set. Don't know, probably a Goodwill or an eBay set. And I just like the shell, even though I used to protest against Shell in the 80s when they were supportive of apartheid. So when I was in college, I protested against them. But as a Lego set, I just think there's something appealing about it. So I built that set. And this one of them, I think I have sitting over. Yeah, I have sitting in my section of older sets because I just think they do things differently. I like the gas station pumps on this one.
Okay.
And there's another, the shell. I also know that the Lego company has stopped their doing business with Shell, and so going ahead and investing or buying some Shell sets when they're a little cheaper is not a bad idea because they're just going to get more expensive.
Yeah, you're not gonna see any more of these because I guess that's where Octane came into play. So yeah,
this is one I got. I think I got this one through eBay. I think somebody was selling a couple sets, and they just sometimes things. I don't know if it's like the end of the month and people don't have as much money or something, but this is just one of those old sets with those old rubber tires, and I got it for a good deal. And the box, and the new sets are really cool. Like this Joker set I'm building is just really awesome, but there's something just appealing about these old sets that really took imagination to make that into a truck. So
it's just so many simple parts, like you say with this one here. It's just so many simple parts that once it's all together, how it just takes shape to what it's supposed to be.
Yeah, I just really like that.
Here's another old set.
Yeah, I got an old police station. I like the motorbike there. That motorbike's even brick built there, so that's kind of cool. And the old phone booth kind of thing. We don't have those anymore.
Right.
Phone booths. So, and of course you've got the helicopter. Always got to have a helicopter. But I kind of like this one. It's not the blue. It's green and black and yellow. And most of the police sets you see now have the blue in them. So I thought this was kind of cool with the green shutters and stuff. So it's another one I picked up somewhere. But I might even there's a place called Atlanta Bricks, not too far from the airport in Atlanta. If I have a chance, I go in there, and sometimes I pick up old sets there too.
Awesome.
Me and my brick tubers outfit, tubes up. So supporting my my friends who do that. I say I do that, and I buy Clutch's secret stash as well. I like to support my friends that are doing stuff in the Lego community and try to see what they can do. And so brick tubers, great bunch of people.
Yes indeed.
So this is a mock. I've never shown this one, and it's there's a type of architecture called brutalism, and it's kind of like not quite complete. And this is kind of brutalism in the colors and a little bit, but it's a little bit more ornate than brutalism. But this is a courthouse in a jail, and I was just trying to play around with the modular. I don't like it as well as I like any of my other builds, but I like some of the things I did with it. I like the steps. I don't know exactly what I used for the handles there, but those kind of turned out okay. And I like the scenes inside, and I like some of the stuff. It's just very stark compared to the rest of my city block of Lego design things. This is just so black and gray, and all of those are so colorful, and just really helps me appreciate Jamie Berard and what he comes up with as well. But I still have it built. It's still sitting in my city. Until I need bricks from it, it'll probably be up.
Okay. This is the inside?
Yeah, this is the inside. This is the first floor. This is like if you're coming in the front, you've got to go through the X-ray machine. So if you can see that one person's head is getting ready to go through the X-ray machine, and the guy on the other side with the short fro, he's one of the guards.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of my students who works as a guard now at the jail. And you can see that we've got a woman over there working the machines, checking out the x-rays, and I've got a briefcase going through there, but you can also see a gun's just gone through the x-ray. So there's a little bit of humor there.
Yeah.
And then to the right, to the back, to the left top is the elevator. So that's actually looking down into the elevator. And at the bottom, the right, there's like a vending area. So if you were going to jail and you're waiting to pick somebody up or something, you, or if you work there and you're getting ready to go upstairs to the courthouse, there's a vending machine in there. And then in the back corner, there's a Sally port where somebody, a cop or an officer, has just brought in a robber. And I've got one of those typical Lego robbers with the little hat on. And I've got an officer handcuffed to him who's bringing him in. And it's a Sally port. So those of us who know about prison stuff know that they have to go in and be locked in both sides before they can go through the other space. So you can make sure our prisoner doesn't get away.
Yep, absolutely.
So a lot of detail there I know from studying stuff, so I was kind of having fun with that.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah. There's a shot from the outside. Again, you know, just I was trying to do a lot of detail and but it is pretty dark looking building. But I guess it is a jail and a courthouse, so those aren't always the happiest places to go.
Right. Very true. Very true. Awesome stuff. Oh, sad times. Very sad times.
Yeah, see the steamroller in the back? That's the Joker steamroller. Just took down my my mock, but it had to happen.
Yeah, very sad times. You hate to see that part of it, though, but that is part of it, you know.
It is. I got all that brick now. I got to come up with something tan to build.
I'm sure that probably be easy.
I sent a few of those bricks to Kevin in building the building at the tan building there.
Okay. All right. So, anything else would you like to share with us?
It's been great talking to you. Hopefully people found it interesting. I know lots of people knew some stories that I've told, but it's been, again, I want to thank you. I think this is a great show. I've been watching you have it. I think you're doing a great job of getting all kinds of different people on here, people that we know well from the YouTube community, people we don't know so well. I've been following more people on Instagram and YouTube because of your show. Because I've learned about some people I didn't know before. So that's been really, really cool that you're doing this. And like I said, I think you've been a great addition to the community. I like the stuff that you're doing. I like watching the DMV brothers. I find you guys entertaining. So
yeah, we can be entertaining.
You can be. Sometimes I want to yell at you and sometimes I want to applaud you, but that's what entertainment's about.
We appreciate it. We do. One more thing before I let you off the icebox. So, with your experience in the AFOL community and being a master builder, Lego builder, what do you say? What do you say to that? I don't know, 9 or 12-year-old in talk.
Get your parents to get you some Lego and build, especially girls. And for the boys, don't stop building just because you find girls. Find those girls. If you like girls, if you like boys, that's fine too. Whoever you like, find those kids you like who support you being, geeky and having your fun hobbies. This is a great thing. It's going to help you. I did well in school because I did things like Lego with blocks and things that helps you with physics. It helps you with geometry. Don't be afraid of math and those kind of things. This stuff, I know it seems a little geeky. It seems like we're geeky. We're a bunch of adults playing with this, but don't be in a rush to grow up, man. This stuff's fun, and growing up. It's not what it's cracked up to be. It's more fun playing with Lego. Be responsible, but got to pay my bills, things like that, and find a good job you can pay your bills, and but build, have some fun, give it a try, and don't if somebody picks on you for it or pushes you around for it or whatever, find the people who support you for what it is you want to do.
Much agreed. I couldn't say it better myself. Much agreed. Well, in talk, I want to thank you for stopping by on the show and imparting with some of your wisdom and your knowledge and sharing your babies with us. We look forward to the next build from In Talk.
Thanks so much. Been fun.
All right, folks, you've been tuned into the On the Icebox with Iceberg Bricks. My guest tonight was In Talk. Tune in next Monday at 9 p.m. for another outstanding guest. And tune in Wednesday night at 9 p.m. for the DMV Brick Bros show. So we can laugh at MD for getting the zonk the zonk gift from the the white elephant giveaway. He's a good sport. But yeah, definitely come check us out because we'll be talking about some Lego prices and new Lego stuff that's coming out. And we'll tell you about some more parking lot deals that we have going on. With that, folks, I bid you love, I bid you peace, and I bid you more Lego. Good night, everyone.
Good night.